Hello, Alicia.
Hi, Jared. It's so good to be back here.
It is. And welcome, listeners, to Vibrations and Manifestations.
Welcome back, everyone.
It's good to be here.
So this morning, I was just thinking about how we left off last time with this whole idea of divine timing and surrender.
Yeah. Letting go of the win.
Exactly. And it feels like such a natural next step to talk about, well, the how we move with life while we're in that space of allowing.
Right, because surrender isn't passive. It's not about doing less. It's about doing differently.
Yes. So today, we're going to dive into what we're calling the art of non-forcing.
Flow, ease, allowing. All those, wonderful words that can also be very misunderstood.
So true. Before we jump in, though, just for everyone listening, find your seat. Let yourself land here. Maybe take one slow, deliberate breath with us. Just in.
And a long, slow exhale out.
Good. Because this isn't a topic to just figure out with your mind. We really want you to let this land in your body.
Yeah, feel the resonance of it before you try to analyze it.
So let's start with the big misconception right away. Ease is not laziness.
Absolutely not. That's probably the biggest hurdle for people.
We want to reframe it. Think of ease as information. It's your internal compass, your vibrational indicator saying, yes, this way, or a little off here.
It's biofeedback. Pure and simple.
So to ground this in something really real and maybe a little vulnerable, I want to talk about where I learned this lesson the hard way. It was after my divorce when I was starting to date again.
Oh, that is a learning environment.
It really is. And I thought I was doing everything right. I was being intentional. I was open. I was communicating.
All the things you're supposed to do.
Right. But I started to realize that the energy underneath all of that, it wasn't about connection. It was actually about trying to force a feeling of emotional safety.
Ah, there it is. You were trying to build the house before the foundation was even poured.
Totally. And the apps, that's a whole other layer. Each one is its own little ecosystem, right?
With different rules, different rhythm.
Exactly. Some are super fast, almost transactional. Others feel warmer, but they're really inconsistent. People pop in and out.
And you're constantly trying to interpret the data. Is this silence meaningful, or is he just busy?
Yes. And my nervous system was just on high alert trying to manage all of that uncertainty. I found myself making these tiny little adjustments.
Like what?
Well, like matching someone else's pace, even if it felt too fast or slow for me. Or explaining things really early on to try and avoid any potential misunderstanding down the road.
You were trying to control the variable.
I was trying to control everything. Yeah. And even when there was real chemistry, a real connection, the effort of just holding it all together was completely exhausting.
And what did that feel like in your body? That effort?
It was this low-grade tension all the time in my jaw and my shoulders, and this quiet checking behavior.
A phone check.
The phone check, not even from excitement, you know? It was more of an urgency, like, is it still okay? Is the connection still secure? I was confusing that effort with care.
That is such a key distinction. You thought you were caring for the connection, but you were actually trying to manage your own anxiety.
100%. I wasn't repeating old situations, but I was repeating the old energy. That feeling that uncertainty demands immediate action from me.
Which is a nervous system pattern. It's a trauma response, really.
Right.
Uncertainty feels unsafe, so the system says, do something, fix it.
And then, much later, I had a totally different experience, a connection that just felt calm. It didn't need constant monitoring. Silence felt unloaded. It didn't feel heavy with things I had to figure out.
There was space.
So much space. And the insight was so clear. Flow in a relationship doesn't mean you know the outcome. It just means you don't have to abandon yourself to keep the connection going.
You don't have to override your own internal ease.
Exactly. And for everyone listening, I know this story is about dating, but it applies everywhere. Forcing clarity at work, forcing momentum on a creative project.
The circumstance is different, but the sensation is the same. That feeling of tension, of friction.
Right. And that's the perfect pivot to really defining this. Because forcing is sneaky. It often disguises itself as just being responsible.
Or trying hard. Let's break down the mechanics.
Okay, so force. What is it, really?
At its root, force is rooted in fear.
Fear of what?
Fear of lack, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. It carries the vibration of scarcity, urgency, pressure.
It's action that comes from a place of feeling like something is missing and you have to go grab it or it will disappear.
Precisely. It's a contraction.
Yeah.
Flow. That's the opposite. It arises from a sense of sufficiency.
It comes from clarity, from a feeling of readiness, from being aligned with what's actually happening in the present moment, not what you're afraid might happen in the future.
It's an expansion.
And this brings us to what might be the most important principle of this whole deep dive. I really want you to hear this. Effort is not the enemy. Friction is.
That's it. We have to expend energy. Life requires effort. Building things, relationships, careers, it all takes effort.
But flow is effort without resistance.
Think about a rower. A skilled rower is putting in a massive amount of effort, but their oars are moving with the water. Their boat is designed to glide. The effort is efficient.
Right. But if you took that same rower and told them to row across a frozen lake...
That's friction. They could put in 10 times the effort and go nowhere. They'd just exhaust themselves and maybe break an oar.
So things don't need to be effortless, but they should feel cooperative.
Yes. The universe, the situation, your own body.
Yeah.
It feels like it's working with you, not against you.
Which brings us back to what we said at the start. Ease is your compass. It's that internal signal saying, yes, this direction is cooperative, this path is supported.
And that's a huge shift, right? It's moving from seeking external validation, did they text back, did I get the promotion, to trusting your own internal guidance. How does this feel as I do it?
It's a game changer. And there's actually a lot of science that backs this up. This isn't just a spiritual concept.
No, not at all. The biological cost of forcing is very real, and it's measurable.
So let's talk about the brain first. Daniel Kahneman's work on this is just, it's perfect.
It really is. So Kahneman talks about two modes of thinking, System 1 and System 2.
System 1 is the fast, intuitive, almost automatic stuff, like driving a familiar route.
Right. It's low energy. System 2, on the other hand, is the slow, deliberate, analytical thinking. It's for solving complex math problems or learning a new skill. And it burns a ton of cognitive fuel.
So when we are forcing a situation like rereading and analyzing a text message for an hour, or trying to plan out every possible contingency for a project.
You're using that expensive System 2 thinking for a task it's not really designed for. You're trying to calculate and control a million social variables that are fundamentally unpredictable.
And that leads directly to what he calls decision fatigue.
Exactly. You literally run out of mental energy. Your capacity for good judgment, for creativity, for willpower, it just gets depleted.
Which is why, after a day of forcing things at work, you get home and you can't even decide what to have for dinner.
Your brain is just done. But here's the crucial part. Forcing creates a different kind of friction than, say, deep, focused work.
Say more about that, because writing a book is hard. It feels like friction.
It does. But that's friction against the problem. It's you, your mind, wrestling with an idea. It's focused, internal work. Forcing is friction against the environment. It's you fighting the timing, fighting other people's responses, fighting uncertainty.
Ah, okay. So one is like sculpting marble. It's hard work, but it's productive. The other is like punching water. It's just exhausting and you get nowhere.
Perfect analogy. When you're forcing, most of your mental energy is actually going toward vigilance, toward risk management. It's not going into the task itself.
And the moment you get into that state of vigilance, well, that's where the body takes over.
And that's Stephen Porges and his polyvagal theory.
Which sounds complicated, but the core idea is pretty simple.
It is. Your nervous system has one primary job: to keep you safe.
And it perceives threats everywhere, not just, a tiger in the bushes. Emotional uncertainty, ambiguity. That feels like a threat.
Mm-hmm. And when it feels that threat, it kicks you into a state of high alert, fight, flight, or freeze. Your heart rate goes up, your muscles tense.
And crucially, blood flow is diverted away from the smart, creative, problem-solving part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex.
Right. Your body is preparing to run or fight, not to have a nuanced, insightful thought. So when you're feeling that tension of forcing, you are literally, chemically cut off from your best thinking.
The very solutions you're looking for become inaccessible.
Exactly. The system's hierarchy is safety first. Then, and only then, can you have things like connection, creativity, and flow.
Porges calls that safe and social state the ventral vagal state. And the key is that when we choose ease, when we pause instead of pushing, we are signaling safety to our own nervous system.
We're telling our body, hey, there's no tiger here. You can stand down.
And the moment that happens, even just a little bit, the resources come back online. The mind gets quiet. You start to see patterns and connections you couldn't see before.
Solutions just appear. Not because you worked harder, but because you created the physiological space for them to arise.
Which is so fascinating because this modern neuroscience is basically describing an ancient Taoist principle.
Wu Wei,
Effortless action.
which is such a misunderstood term in the West, isn't it? People hear effortless and they think passive,
Right. Lying on the sofa.
but that's not it at all. Wu Wei is the ultimate expression of this regulated, low-friction state we're talking about. It's action that is so perfectly aligned with the natural flow of things that it feels effortless.
I love Alan Watts's description of it. He compared it to sailing.
Yes. A sailor isn't passive. They're constantly working, adjusting the sails, reading the wind, steering the rudder.
But they're not trying to fight the wind. They're not trying to row against the current.
Yeah.
They are using the existing forces of nature to get where they want to go.
They are acting in cooperation with the environment. That is Wu Wei. That is flow.
The moment the sailor says, forget the wind, I'm just going to muscle my way through, that's when they start forcing. They burn all their energy and get nowhere.
So it's about intelligent responsiveness, knowing when to act, when to wait, when to adjust.
And what's so powerful is that the science shows us that this state is only available to us when our nervous system feels safe. Ease is the doorway to effective action.
It is. So now that we've kind of laid out the theory behind it, let's get really practical. How do we start to put this into practice?
Yes, let's get into the tools.
The first one is the simplest. We call it the ease test.
And this is all about shifting your awareness from your head to your body.
Right. So right now, just bring to mind one situation in your life that feels a bit stuck or uncertain. A conversation you need to have, a decision you're wrestling with.
Got one. Okay. Now, without analyzing it, just notice. When you think about taking action on this thing, what's the feeling in your body? Is it pressure or is it flow?
And let's define those. Pressure feels like tightness, a shallow breath that stays high in your chest, tension in your jaw or your gut.
And mentally, it's that looping thought pattern, right? The same worries going around and around.
That's your system 2 in overdrive. In contrast, flow feels like space. Even if the task is hard, there's a sense of openness in your body. Your breath is deeper. There's a quiet knowing of, okay, this is the next step.
It feels cooperative.
Exactly. And if you do the test and you feel pressure, it doesn't mean you should abandon the goal. It's just information.
It's your compass saying, the way you're approaching this right now is creating a lot of friction. Pause. Regulate. Try a different angle.
Which leads perfectly into the second tool, the nervous system check-in.
This one is about identifying the motive behind your urge to act.
So you ask yourself this simple question. Am I about to do this so that I can finally relax? Or am I doing this because I already feel steady?
Oh, that's so good, because so much of our action is just an attempt to get rid of the uncomfortable feeling of anxiety.
It's relief-seeking. I need to send this email so I can stop worrying about it. I need to get an answer from them so I can feel secure.
That's forcing. You're trying to use an external action to regulate your internal state.
Whereas aligned action comes from a place of already feeling centered. It's a clean expression of your truth or your creativity. It's not needy. It doesn't require a specific response to make you feel okay.
Just noticing that difference, that's the whole practice right there.
It is. So let's apply this to a place where we all force things, texting.
Oh boy, yes. Our little micro practice for non-forcing communication.
Okay, so the next time you feel that burning urge to send a text, to follow up, to clarify something, to get a response.
First, just pause, 10 seconds. Put the phone down, put a hand on your chest or your stomach.
And ask the question, am I reaching out to express something? Or am I trying to manage the outcome?
Am I trying to make sure they think a certain way? Am I trying to eliminate the discomfort of not knowing?
If the answer is management, that's the forcing energy. And then you can try this reframe. Ask yourself, what would I write if I completely trusted this situation to unfold perfectly without my help?
Often the answer is nothing. Or maybe a much shorter, simpler message.
It strips away all the anxious energy. And here's the final check, the real self-alignment anchor.
Okay.
Ask, if I send this right now and get no response or not the response I want, will I still be okay in my body?
Oof. That's the one.
If the answer is no, then you're not ready. Your action is coming from a need for reassurance, and that's a sign to wait. Not as a game, but as an act of honoring your own stability.
Connection doesn't need to be chased to be real.
That's a great mantra for it.
Okay, so what about bigger picture stuff, when we just feel completely lost and don't know the next step in our career or life?
That's where the forcing can get really intense because the uncertainty feels huge.
So for that, we have a practice called Show Me the Open Path.
And this is pure wu-wei. Instead of trying to mentally figure out the entire 5-year plan, you just ask.
It's an internal request. You can say it out loud or just in your mind. Show me the open path.
And there's a crucial second part to add. And help me recognize it by how it feels, not by how it looks.
Because the open path might not be the grand, impressive-looking one?
Probably not. The open path is the one that feels cooperative. It's the conversation that flows easily, the opportunity that shows up without a struggle, the idea that feels steady and clear, not just flashy and exciting.
You're asking for the low-friction route.
Exactly. And your only job is to pay attention for the next few days and notice what feels like ease.
I love that. It takes so much pressure off.
Okay, 2 more quick ones. Energy mapping. This is a more analytical tool.
Instead of a to-do list, picture your life as a landscape map.
And on that map, identify the areas where things are flowing, the downhill parts. Conversations are easy, progress feels natural.
Then identify the rocky uphill climbs, the places where you're putting in massive effort for very little movement.
The question then becomes, what am I trying to push uphill right now that might just be asking me to wait or to find a different route?
Sometimes flow means moving sideways for a bit to a path that's currently open until the other one clears.
It's about allocating your energy wisely. And finally, a simple mantra to tie it all together, the non-forcing reframe.
It's this sentence: if this is aligned, it won't require me to abandon my ease.
Now, this doesn't mean it won't be scary or challenging. Aligned action can require a lot of courage.
But it won't require you to constantly betray your own inner peace. It won't require that constant state of tension and self-override. That's the difference between healthy effort and destructive friction.
Let's just pause there for a second. Let that one sink in.
Okay. So now let's go into what we call manifestation debug mode.
Let's clear that static and tune into the magic.
This is where we get really honest about the sneaky ways forcing shows up. Because, like we said, it's so good at disguising itself as being reasonable.
It's the microcontrol. It's checking your email for the 5th time in 10 minutes and calling it staying on top of things.
It's replaying a conversation in your head over and over and calling it processing.
It's all your nervous system trying to feel safe by managing the uncontrollable. The signs of resistance, of forcing, are pretty clear when you look for them.
You're managing a connection instead of experiencing it.
You're anticipating silence with dread. The moment there's a quiet pause, you feel an urgent need to fill it with something, an action, a thought.
And the big one. The action is designed to relieve your anxiety, not to express your clarity.
If you are doing something so that you can feel better, you're outsourcing your emotional regulation to the external world.
Yeah.
And that never, ever works.
It's an energy leak. So what are the signs of alignment? Of flow?
It feels like calm momentum, not frantic urgency.
You notice synchronicities. The right person calls, the right email shows up. It feels like cooperation, not strategy.
The intuitive nudges you get are gentle. They don't scream at you. They're not demanding.
And maybe most importantly, you find you can stay relaxed even when the future is uncertain. Your sense of okayness isn't dependent on knowing the outcome.
That's when you know your nervous system is regulated. That's the ventral vagal state in action.
And that leads to a really powerful reframe. If a manifestation, a goal, a relationship, if it requires you to constantly abandon your inner ease to keep it alive,
it's not aligned, or at least the way you're pursuing it isn't. It's effort fighting friction, and that is a recipe for burnout.
So just a quick pause here. If you're feeling that urge to push or control something right now, just stop.
Put a hand on your body somewhere,
Yeah.
heart, your gut. Take one slow breath.
And ask, am I responding from alignment, or am I trying to manage uncertainty?
The answer will tell you everything you need to know about your next move.
Okay, so let's integrate all of this with a short visualization. This isn't about just zoning out, it's about feeling the shift in your body.
So if you feel comfortable, you can soften your gaze or gently close your eyes.
And just take a deep breath in and let it all go. Feel the chair or the floor supporting you completely. You don't have to hold yourself up.
Okay, step 1. Meeting the place of forcing. Let's bring that one situation back to mind, the one that feels tight and stuck.
Don't get into the story of it. Just feel the sensation of it in your body. Where does that tension live? Is it a pressure in your chest, a tightness in your throat, a knot in your stomach?
Just notice its texture. Heavy, sharp, and just acknowledge it with no judgment. This is the feeling of forcing.
Step 2, releasing the grip. Now imagine you're holding that entire situation tightly in your hands. You're white-knuckling it, trying to keep it all together.
And now, just consciously loosen your grip.
Yeah.
Just a little. You're not dropping it, you're not giving up, you are simply releasing the unnecessary effort.
You're letting go of the micromanagement, releasing the need to control the outcome.
And as you do, notice what happens in your body. Do your shoulders drop even a tiny bit? Does your breath get a little deeper? That feeling, that small sense of relief, that is the feeling of non-forcing.
Step 3, entering the landscape of flow. Now let's go back to that map of your life. See all the different paths ahead of you.
See the rocky uphill paths that represent forcing and struggle.
And then just stand still. And ask that quiet question again. Show me the open path.
And watch as the different path lights up. It might be a quieter, simpler path, one that doesn't look as dramatic. But notice how it feels. Calm, curious, open.
Step 4, integrating ease into action. Now, in your mind's eye, imagine taking just one step onto that open path, not the whole journey, just the very next cooperative step.
And as you take that step, feel the sensation in your body. The deepening breath, the open chest, the quiet mind.
This is what aligned action feels like. It doesn't require you to abandon yourself.
Just stay with that feeling for another moment.
And when you're ready, you can gently bring your awareness back to the room. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes.
Just notice. Does your body feel any different now than it did a few minutes ago?
That feeling is available to you anytime. It's just a choice to pause and release the grip.
So let's just do a quick recap of what we've journeyed through today.
We started with that story about confusing effort with care and realized forcing is often just our nervous system trying to feel safe.
Then we broke down the core teaching. Force comes from fear and scarcity. Flow comes from clarity and sufficiency.
And that critical distinction, effort isn't the problem, friction is.
We bridged the science Kahneman's cognitive load and Porges' nervous system states with the ancient spiritual wisdom of Wu Wei, effortless action.
And we gave you those practical tools, the ease test, the nervous system check-in, the show me the open path practice.
All designed to help you use ease as your compass.
So if there is one core takeaway, one sentence we really want you to remember from all this, it's this.
Aligned action doesn't require you to abandon your ease.
It might ask for your courage, it might ask for your effort, but it won't ask you to betray your own inner peace to get there.
And that final beautiful distillation. Flow is not the absence of effort, it is effort without friction.
Let your compass be that feeling of cooperation.
So your invitation for this week is just to pick one small thing, one email, one conversation, one chore, and choose to approach it from a place of non-forcing.
Just practice that pause. Check in with your body. Choose the path of least internal resistance.
If you want to dive deeper into any of this, we have explainer videos on our YouTube channel, and you can find a meditation-only version of that visualization there as well.
But really, the practice is just in these small moment-to-moment choices.
As we close, just remember, you don't have to chase what is meant for you. You don't have to force your life forward.
Life responds to your clarity, to your openness, not to your pressure and your urgency.
So soften your shoulders. Take one more deep, released breath.
Trust the flow that's already unfolding. We'll talk to you next time.